Okay, so a little bit of a different video for me today. It is the end of March and I just kind of wanted to do a bit of a roundup of this year so far more than anything, if I'm completely honest. So this week's been a really good week for me in terms of exercise and stuff like that. So yesterday I did my first ever 15-kilometer run, which felt really, really good. My knees are a little bit sore today, so I've got to work on that, some stretching and some ice, I think, for those. But it's been a really good and productive week and a good end to a productive month as well. And I just wanted to kind of very casually go through a couple of things that I've made changes on this year to get to where I am right now. In my TikTok comments, I've had a lot of people asking me kind of what I'm doing. So this year, I started the year just under 18 stone, 17 stone, 12 pounds was my official start weight. I was probably over 18 stone at some point over Christmas, but my official start weight was 17 stone and 12 pounds. So since then, obviously, I've been working on diet a lot, which is kind of 85% of it, really, if I'm completely honest, and then obviously some exercise as well. But for me, they kind of go hand in hand, and that's what I'm going to talk through today as we sit here, 31st of March. I am 15 stone and 11 pounds, so that's a loss of just over 2 stone in 3 months, which is really, really good. I'm really proud of that, feeling great, feeling confident, and just kind of wanted to carry on that vein, really. So I had a look at kind of the differences between a few different things last year and this year that's contributed to the weight loss, and I thought I'd kind of go through those and what I'm doing, what I'm eating, all that sort of thing. So November, December last year, if we go back to then, I used MyFitnessPal to track things and Fitbit to track my steps. So that's kind of where I've got this information from to start with. Now, last year in November and December, I was eating probably, I wasn't tracking everything. I reckon I was eating between about 4,000 to 5,000 calories a day on a good day. So, stuff I thought was healthy, portions I thought were good for me. And when I look back now, that was a lot of intake that I had. I was eating a lot of crap food. I was eating a lot. And I think the first thing that you've got to do is take accountability. Because you got yourself in that way. If you don't like being that way, you kind of have got yourself there. Whether it was, your fault or not, in terms of, did you know you were doing it? Because there's a lot of marketing out there that actually would make you think that what you're eating is good for you. And maybe it is kind of good food in terms of peanut butter and all that sort of thing, when you say that they're kind of healthy fats and stuff. But when you're having them in the quantities that you can buy them in, they're not great for losing weight. Peanut butter in particular, nuts and things like that are very calorie dense. These Graze bars, falafels, things like that, they're branded as really good food and they are for health quite a lot of the time, but they're still very calorie dense. So if you're trying to be in a calorie deficit, although I think you should have them, you should weigh them. And that's really what you should be doing, in my opinion, and what I have been doing to get this success so far. So preamble to what I'm going to go into now. I'm obviously not a PT, a dietitian, a doctor, no credibilities. This is just my personal experience, and my personal experience of losing weight is that I've ate less calories and I've moved more, so I've burned more calories. All about calorie deficit. That is it. That's as simple as it gets. What I'm going to do is dig down into what that means a little bit more. But for me, this is kind of what's worked. What works for you might be something different, but this is just what's worked for me. So last year, as I say, I was eating probably about 4,000 to 5,000 calories on a good day. If I was going out and having a cheat day, genuinely, I could have easily smashed through 10,000 calories. And I know people do challenges and you think, God, that's a lot. Honestly, I could easily just smash through that much food. Genuinely could. Especially if there's beer involved and stuff. Pint after pint after pint after pint. Food after food after food. If you ask any of my family and friends, they will tell you that I could easily smash 10,000 calories on a weekend or a Saturday out or whatever. So come January, that's where I kind of started to make that change. So in January, I started tracking my food more. And in January and February, I definitely reduced my calorie intake, but I don't think my tracking was as good as it could have been. In fact, I know because of March that it wasn't as good as it could have been. So I reduced my calories to what I thought was about 1,400 calories on average a day. Now, I'm a 6 foot tall bloke. At that point in time, I was 17 stone and 12 pounds. First of all, 1,400 calories isn't enough calories for me. It isn't. And I didn't particularly feel really hungry at any point, which kind of tells me that I wasn't really tracking my calories properly. I know I wasn't, because I wasn't including everything I was eating in my app. I wasn't weighing anything out. I was just guessing things. And in January, I lost some decent weight. So I definitely reduced, from December to January, I definitely reduced my calories, but not by as much as I thought I did. I lost a stone, I think, in January. Which, when you're cutting back from a Christmas diet, it's not that hard to lose a stone at my weight and my height. February, I kind of almost plateaued. I kind of still went the right way. I lost, I think, 2 or 3 pounds in the whole of February. And I thought, by my tracking, that I was eating 1,400 calories. That's what I thought I was eating on average a day, right, in February. And I only lost 3 pounds. So I was thinking, that's not quite right. Now, to put this in perspective, in February, my average step count, which is accurate, was 14,000. That's an average daily. And I was doing 3 runs a week, 3 5K runs a week, and 2 gym classes a week, and 14,000 steps, like walking the dog, getting out, all this sort of thing. So to only lose 2-3 pounds, I thought something isn't right about my calorie tracking here. So in March, I thought, right, this month I'm going to weigh everything. And I know that sounds quite extreme, and I will carry on with the weighing things, and probably not so meticulously. I've got certain meals where I know the weights of them because I have weighed them, and I may just weigh them every couple of weeks to make sure I'm keeping myself in check. But I weighed all my food out and started tracking my calories. I was, like I say, 16 stone, 8 pounds at the end of February. So I've lost nearly a stone in March, and in March my average calorie intake daily was about 2,000 calories, so 600 more than I supposedly was eating in February. That tells you all you need to know about my calorie tracking. It was crap. That's why I didn't lose that much weight in February. I've essentially, in my mind or in my app, eaten more in March than I did in February, but lost significantly more weight. That just means that actually, when I wasn't tracking my calories properly in February, I was eating more than 2,000 calories a day. Now, 2,000 calories, given the exercise that I'm doing at the moment, isn't still particularly enough for me, actually. I actually need to up that. So that's kind of what I'm going to work on in April, is upping that, but in the right ways. So yeah, that's kind of what I've been doing in terms of the calorie side of things and the tracking. My steps, so November, December steps, I was doing 7,500 steps on average in November and December, which actually isn't too bad for somebody that works from home. January, I went up to 13,000 average. February, 14,000 average. And in March, I'm about 16,000 steps a day average. A lot of that is because I've increased my weekend run distances from 5K to 10K, 12K, 15K. So that contributes quite a lot to it, which is good. And I've also started getting out on my lunches and walking the dog as well, to make sure that I'm getting my daily steps in there quite a lot more. So another common question is what I've been eating to lose weight, essentially. So at the moment, I've not been having breakfast. I don't really feel hungry in the mornings. It makes me feel hungrier when I do eat breakfast, to be honest. So I've not been having that. I usually have a green tea, an espresso to start the day off with, and then I've got a big 2 litre bottle of water that I fill in the morning, put a Barocca in it, and I drink that through the day, basically. So that's kind of what I'm doing in the mornings. At lunchtime at the moment, what I'm having, as to be honest, is those Warburton Thins, and I have a Dairy Lee Light Triangle on them, some tomato, and some ham, right? Sometimes I'll have like a one with some mustard, some ham, a slice of Leerdammer, and a pickle, which is quite nice. I have a pack of crisps, pop chips, Quavers, whatever it might be. I have a Kit Kat, and I have 2 Satsumas. Now, that's really convenient for me, and I actually quite like it, and it sticks well within my calories. But it is very processed. It's kind of served a purpose for this 3 months to get the first 2 stone off. But one of my objectives this year was to eat less processed food, and that is kind of counteracting that. So going forward in April, I am going to be trying to eat less processed food and start preparing more healthy lunches as well. So yeah, I'm kind of working on that at the moment, so that's going to improve. My teas, however, have been really, really good. So Charlotte and I have been using some old HelloFresh recipes that we've had and making those. So we've been having things like lentil and beef spaghetti bolognese. We like rocket. We have this kind of potato and beef pie with some tender stem broccoli. Might have a prawn risotto, things like that from HelloFresh, and they're actually really good. You get some vegetables in there, they're really flavourful. And then what you got to be careful of with HelloFresh when you're recreating HelloFresh or any other sort of recipes you get online or what have you, with the box ones that you get to your door, usually they send you the ingredients pre-weighed. So make sure when you're recreating those meals that you're weighing all your ingredients, because it's quite easy to guess those weights, get them all wrong and double the calories of the meal. So that's kind of what we've been working on as well in terms of that. But they've been really good for our teas. Like I say, in March, I've kind of stuck to about 2,000 calories a day, sometimes a bit under. Doing that for lunch, those for teas, and then as a snack, I've either been having some banana, a yogurt, and some peanut butter. Or more recently I've been having some chocolate protein oats, so some oats, so usually about 50 grams of oats, 40 grams of chocolate protein powder, a little bit of baking powder, 150 ml of almond milk, 9 grams, very specific, of maple syrup. Mix it all together, and then I usually top it with some fresh blueberries and raspberries and a little 10 or 20 gram drizzle of peanut butter, and that really does me good. It's a good protein hit, it's good for fibre, it's all that sort of stuff. So with that's been keeping me on my 2,000 calories a day, which is really, really good. As I said before, my step count at the moment is about 16 to 17,000 steps a day on average in March. So quite a lot, which is why I really need to start increasing some of those calories, which I know sounds counterproductive to lose weight, but actually it's what I need, given that I'm starting to move more, I'm losing weight still. I want this to be sustainable, not just a moment in time. I kind of want to carry this on with no fixed date. If you look at my FitnessPal, I kind of have a trajectory of this, so I've done this a few times where I've yo-yoed with weight, and I've kind of gone up and brought it all back down, and I've kind of stayed there for a little bit, and then I've gone back up again. That can't happen again. My objective after this is to stay at a really healthy, constant weight. That's my only objective really, is to be healthy and happy. So that's kind of what we're working on at the moment. So what have I been doing outside of just steps to burn calories? So main thing is running, which I mentioned earlier. So I started off doing 5Ks, and I was doing sort of 5K near me at around 38 minutes, 5K in January. And I hated it at first. I really didn't like it. I really didn't find it enjoyable. But I carried on with it. And it's got better and better, and I've just started enjoying it more and more and more, to the point where I really look forward to it now, which is really great. So I'm still doing my 5Ks on a Monday and a Friday. So I get up at about 6:30 on a Monday and a Friday. I do a 5K run, or at the moment actually I'm doing a little bit more. I'm doing about 6.5 kilometers on a Monday and a Friday. I'll do that in the morning. I'll come back. I'll take the dog for a walk. That's another 4 kilometers. I'll come back and get ready for work, have my espresso, my green tea, and fill my bottle up and do my work. I then go down and have my lunch at about 12:30. Eat that within half an hour, and I take the dog out for 20 minutes again, get another 2,000 or 3,000 steps in, come back, finish my work, and then have my dinner and my protein oats or whatever at night time. That's my Monday and my Friday routines. On a Tuesday and a Thursday, it's very regimented at the moment. It doesn't always stay like this because things change, but on a Tuesday and a Thursday, I will get up, do the 4K walk with the dog. I don't do a run. And then in the evening, what I'll do is I'll do a gym class. So either a HIIT class, boxing class, or a spin class. I'll still do my lunchtime walk with the dog as well. So I'm getting a few less steps in on a Tuesday and a Thursday, but still hitting around the 15,000 step mark with those trends. Wednesday is usually a rest day for me, and I'm usually in the office. Again, I still am kind of getting up and walking the dog before I go. And then because I'm traveling into work, I'm also then hitting about 10,000 steps on a Wednesday as well, which is a rest day, which is good. And then of the weekend, on a Saturday morning, I've been getting up and I've been doing a 10K, 12.5K, or yesterday I did a 15K run. And those are getting really, really enjoyable. I'm not really focusing on my time too much, more the distance and enjoying it. So that's been really, really good as well. And again, then a Sunday is usually a rest day, so I'll still walk the dog and stuff. So I'll still probably get about 8 to 10,000 steps in on a Sunday, and I'll maybe go to the gym for like a sauna and a steam room and things like that. And that's typically what my week looks like in terms of food and in terms of steps and exercise. The gym classes I find really, really good. Really motivating. It depends on your instructor sometimes, I think, but I do the village gym classes, some of the Les Mills boxing ones, HIIT ones, and the spinning ones, which I would highly recommend. From a running point of view, I'm using Strava to track my runs, which is just with my phone. I've started buying some more kind of equipment to aid the longer runs, so I've got a vest now, some proper running shorts and stuff like that, which are really important for just keeping the longevity of it. So that's kind of where we're going with that. And the number one thing for running for me to keep me occupied is music. So at the moment, I love metal music in general, and at the moment I've kind of been listening to a lot of Bring Me the Horizon and Sleep Token on my runs, because I pretty much know both of those bands' whole back catalogues. So even if it's like an hour and a half, 2 hour run, I can just keep that same band on and I enjoy every track. And that really keeps me going and gets me lost in it. So that's, I think, really important as well. Podcasts are always really good for running as well. It's always worth thinking about them. So yeah, I think that's kind of what I've been doing, and hopefully that gives you a good overview of what I've been doing since the start of the year to lose the first 2 stone. Going forward, it's a lot of the same, to be honest, a lot more of the same. The only thing I'm really going to be changing is I'm going to try and change my lunches up so they're a little bit less processed, and try and kind of mix those meals up, get some really nice recipes together to have for my lunches, keeping up the running, increasing the distance, but not so much that it hurts my joints and my muscles and things like that. You have got to be careful with running with things like that, but that's kind of the plan going forward. The next thing I want to get to is kind of obviously down below the 15 stone mark. But like I said at the start, this is kind of a long-term thing. I think it's probably going to take me a while. We've got a lot of events on this year, great stuff, but weddings, birthdays, stag do's, holidays, all that sort of stuff to contend with. So I think it's minimising the impact of those because I'm actually really enjoying what I'm doing. Another thing about that is actually kind of what you surround yourself with as well. Charlotte and I watch a lot of YouTube and stuff like that, and we've both kind of gone from watching, and I'm really bad for this, we've kind of gone from watching food stuff, which I still do enjoy, to watching more kind of fitness and healthy food stuff, if you know what I mean. And that's kind of been a really good change as well, is kind of what you consume. Has kind of spurred us on as well, and Charlotte's been great in terms of spurring me on for doing runs and things like that as well, which I think has been really positive. So more of that to come, and yeah, we'll just hopefully carry on the same trajectory for April, and we'll check in then. I'll keep the vlogs coming. If you haven't liked and subscribed yet, please do so, and I'll keep the vlogs coming, tell you exactly what I'm doing, where I'm at. Might need to tweak things here and there, as I'm doing with my lunches in April, but the idea is that this is a sustainable long-term fitness plan. So keep watching and let's see where we get to. Oh, and before I do go, if you do have any questions or comments or anything like that, drop a comment in here. And if you follow me on TikTok, drop a comment on any of my videos if you want to know anything or want to add anything, because I really find those kind of discussions and conversations really useful.